So this is Diamond 2. Says, I'm the Zarya. And looks like we're trying to figure out how to close distance into the backline on Zarya, which can be difficult for sure. Felt like we're at 0 value shooting the ram and needed a path somehow, but was scared. Alright. Dorado. Okay.
Ready for battle.
So Dorado is mainly a dive map. So I would say, like, if you're gonna play Dorado, the big people you should be playing on this map are going to be, like, Sigma's good here, but usually it's gonna be the D.Va that's really oppressive here, and like even Winston can be good on this map. You don't see it as much on Zarya, but it for sure can help. And high ground is definitely going to be something that's going to help you get into that backline for sure. Just because, again, you're going to be able to path places where the enemy team's not going to be able to really deal with. Nice. The personal bubble. Yeah, first 2 bubbles are just trying to get charged. We could have bubbled our Junkrat there, and that would have, you know, obviously gotten us a lot of charge, but also saved him, so that would have been great for us. Fortunately, he dies. All good. We don't have a Mercy, so there's no way that we're going to be able to call for a res bubble. It's okay. So I guess in the beginning here, I'd rather see a little bit more aggression. I know we lost a pick, but I would rather see you over here. You can't really do anything to contest these people over here. Over here, you're going to be providing a little bit more value. You do have a rotation option out, but as well as 2 bubbles if they do pressure you that hard. But you're also able to look over here and bubble anyone that's on this side that may be needing help. And then if they're on this rotation, of course, you can hit them with a bubble here. I'd probably want you over here just pressuring this backline a little bit more, and even the Freya on this side. Because you are kind of, you playing so far back here is allowing the damage to basically like walk straight up here and start fighting. I think if you were playing someone like maybe a D.Va, it'd be okay to play on this side because D.Va can fly over here and pressure them out. But a Zarya, you definitely want to be in a position to pressure them out as they're going. So. Hey, Chow, what's up, Darth? Okay, yeah, we're still down damage, so I'm okay with us backing up. Yeah, unfortunately, this just looks like one of those things where we just, like, never grouped up, but yeah. A majority of this defense has been you more or less dealing with the Winston. I want you to try to apply more pressure on everyone else that's not the Winston, because we need to get high charge, and the only way we're going to do that is by like scaring the enemy into wanting to shoot us more.
Ready for action.
Nice. Yeah, like even that was good, but it happened way too late, right? If we did this closer to mid when they were rounding the first corner or even the second corner, I think it would have been better for us because we probably would have been high charge. But us deciding to do this so late in this fight has just made it kind of like impossible for us to get any kind of high charge and for us to turn the fight in any way. Do I think it would have been a good idea to do it while down a player? While down one player, it's not ideal, but obviously it can work. When you're down 2 players, especially when those 2 players are damaged, you being Zarya is going to be the brunt of the damage at that point, and so you need to be high charge. But like I said, it probably could have been a lot different if we bubbled the Junkrat so he didn't die. Because then he would have been alive, and then you probably would have stayed yourself in an aggressive position. So honestly, it was kind of like a domino effect in this way, where your entire team just kind of fell apart because you lost that one Junkrat because you didn't bubble him. So like it all stemmed with bubbling that Junkrat, which we just didn't. Bubble the Junkrat. Oh yeah. Here, let's go back to it. Yeah, so right here, your Junkrat's right there. You see him on the roof. This is your Junkrat, and you come out here, and you bubble yourself, and then shortly after you bubble yourself, he ends up getting shot by the Freya one time, so he's already half health, and then the Life Weaver shows up, and then he just blows up immediately. And so if you bubbled him there, and then he probably got life gripped away, we'd probably be sitting at 50 charge. And so that'd probably be a little bit better, and then we'd just have to wait on our bubbles a little bit longer. But that would have been a better start to this whole thing. But you being down the Junkrat from this kind of caused everything else to unfold. And so on and so forth. But that's okay. Like I said, it was more of like a domino effect from there. So we'll see how the next fight goes. So they take it.
Much obliged.
Oster Part 2. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Another thing we have to consider is looking at their team. A lot of their team is low damage. You know, a lot of burst, but low damage. So, like Winston, he's not going to be doing a ton of damage. He just has a really high burst combo, same as Genji. And then, like, Lifeweaver and Ana aren't high damage doers either. So, like, the only person that has high burst is the sniper. And because she's a sniper, she's not going to be doing a whole lot of big spamming and stuff. So bubble timing is going to actually be very difficult, and this is a really hard matchup for Zarya. So I would honestly probably not want to play Zarya into this. Like I said, you're on Dorado. Diva would probably be a better option. Even playing, I don't know, someone like Malga, or if you wanted to go like anti-dive like Orisa, I think those would have been better options than Zarya, just because, again, with how their team comp is, it's going to be very tough for her to get ult charge. Okay. Bubble. So 50%'s good here. You have a bubble. You push forward, but you kind of pop a bubble, and you're not even really low on health or anything like that. So of course they're not going to shoot you because they don't think you're low. They don't think you're killable. So this bubble's really bad, just because, yeah, you're not able to. They're not able to really shoot you or anything like that, and so you're not able to get up to that 80 charge that we want. You only get up to 70, which is still pretty good, but yeah, they definitely misplayed that slightly. And now that you're down here, you have no bubbles. Yeah, they're gonna fry you a lot more. I'm not sure why we rotated over here and dropped. If I were you, you You probably, I don't know if this is in your tech wheelhouse, but you probably could have been able to right-click jump your way over here and right-click your way jump back to here if you ended up, like, treed off like this. Your other option, this tree's not really, like, pushing you out so much. You probably could have just walked back here and then just used the tree as, like, cover, essentially. Knowing that you're not going to kill anyone in the tree, but this... I don't know what exactly our plan is here, but it looks like you just kind of didn't know what to do, so you just ran. You just were like, I gotta get to point, I guess. And you have a Life Weaver, too, so he can, like, grab you if you're in a tough situation. Nice, nice. That's alright. You guys aren't contesting this point anyways. Just back up, get your bubbles. Just try to keep yourself alive. We want 80 charge for this fight, because this is gonna be the most charge we've had yet. Cool. Yeah, it's okay to be up here a little bit more. Alright. Now that we've gotten to 90 charge, let's not be so bubble happy. Because now that we have high charge, we don't need to be bubble happy. We have high charge. So now, our bubbles are mainly going to be for bubbling teammates to keep them alive, or bubbling ourselves to keep us alive. And that's going to be about it. So if you or a teammate is like below half and they're still being somewhat aggressive, we're going to bubble. Nice. Yeah, that's okay. We're still in the poke phase, so it's okay. But by the time the Winston shows up, we should have 2 bubbles. Still doing good. Okay, he wasn't low, so why are we bubbling him? Wait until you see like a Freya hit him with her explosive arrow, and then that will give you a cue to bubble. But you shouldn't be bubbling people that are just full health, because chances are they're not going to just take all the bunch of damage all at once. They're going to start shooting people that are getting low. Like, everyone's just going to want to get the kill. Nice, really good bubble.
Give me a challenge.
Yeah, so here, I know it sucks because you like want the Genji dead because you dived your whole backline. But rather than focus on the Genji that's nanoed and dashing around, why don't we go for the Ana that's going to be keeping him up, or the Ram that's going to be pushing in with him? Mainly the Ana, though, since that's obviously their last bit of sustain, since you guys already killed the Life Weaver. You should be... Yes, if he kills 3 people, it's gonna suck. But if you kill the person that sustains the whole fight, once the nano ends, Genji's gonna die anyways. So instead of you focusing all your attention on this dude, you should really be focusing, because you got the Life Weaver and because she's the only option for sustain, and because you know you can't kill a nano Genji, then... And he probably has the lifesteal. Yeah, he has the lifesteal slash too, so he's going to be keeping himself up in that ultimate anyways. You need to be focusing on the Ana so that after the blade ends, you guys are still able to win this fight. Do you think that's valid for most Nano Genji situations after I've used a bubble on a teammate? Yeah. I would say the only other option would be if he, like, somehow was purple before he got the Nano, and he's purple still while swinging on people. Then yeah, he probably can die. But I would say primarily as Zarya, your option is going to be probably use, if you have both bubbles, use both bubbles to bubble your teammates so you can get yourself to 90 charge, and then with the rest of it, melt the enemy team. The only other good option would be if you had Graviton and you wanted to catch the Genji in your grab. Which obviously is a little bit tougher, and he can always deflect that into you guys to make it even a bigger play than it is. But yeah, primarily you don't want to be focusing the Genji. You're not going to be able to stop him or kill him. You're going to want to focus on the rest of the team, the squishies that are trying to follow up with him. Because yeah, he's just way too fast for you. Reinhardt's almost the same way. I'm a Rein main, so Reinhardt's kind of the same way, where if Rein dives, if Genji kind of dives your backline on Rein, there's like really nothing you can do, other than try to, like, fight the other people that are helping him. So Zarya's kind of the same way in that, and you're probably able at high charge to do the same amount of damage that a Genji can. Not a nanoed Genji, but a Genji in general. And so it's almost like a coin toss on who's bigger at that scenario. Because yeah, even though you guys eventually got the Genji, you guys have lost this fight since the enemy team grouped up, and the Ram never died because that Ana was alive. And I just want you to know, third point, when the payload is here, is probably the toughest time for them to push, because you usually have someone that's like stopping the payload here, and then your entire team's usually up here just fighting all that. So you definitely just want to try to make sure that they're not pushing that cart like at all through here. I know you're doing a lot of left clicks. When I think about Zarya versus Rein matchups, I think it's a little in Rein's favor, but not insane unless a super tight map. It all depends on the high charge. I think Zarya can easily get some bubbles off of the Rein's Fire Strike and then be able to melt the shield. But yeah, if your team's not really good at providing high shield pressure damage to the Reinhardt, then the Reinhardt probably has the favor in most scenarios. Something else I'm not seeing you do a lot on Zarya is left click and then throwing in these right click ults. Not only is it going to... So obviously your left click's good for like consistent damage over a long span of time and tracking people like flyers, but using the right click 1 is going to be a lot easier to hit since it's a splash. But 2, it's going to be AoE, so it's going to be hitting multiple people. So you want to be left click, throwing in left clicks, and then or holding left click and then throwing in these right clicks for high burst damage in AoE spots. Especially if you're on something like 2 supports here, you probably don't need to even grab. You probably could have left click, right click, left click, right click, and you probably would have melted them down pretty quickly. Especially in a grab too. In a grab, with everyone so together, using the left clicks, you're not going to do anything other than focus one single target, and if all supports focus that target too, you're going to be doing no damage. But if you're right-clicking, it's going to be doing, like, I think max charge, I think a right-click for Zarya does, like, 65... No, it probably does 90 damage on a right-click, so that's 90 damage to, like, everybody. So it's like a little... like a big burst to everybody, and, like, 3 of those kills everyone in the grab, other than the tank. So try to throw in these right clicks a lot more. It's not just for long distance poke. It's something that, like, 2 right clicks can just kill a tracer. 1 second left click on a tracer, and then a right click will finish her off too. even there, like you're trying to like focus down that Freya so much. But if you honestly just looked straight at the ground and shot a right click, she would have died. Because of the amount of burst. But you using that beam for just consistent damage on her is allowing Ana and Lifeweaver to have similar heals to sustain that. The right click's gonna burst them down a lot quicker.
Step right up. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
The payload is moving.
Okay, so obviously we have an attack, so that's good. But yeah, so things that
0 to 3.
general tips are,
Switching sides.
if you have another tank to play, try to play that tank if you know that you're going against a team that's just less spam with damage heavy. So this is mainly like if you're going against a dive comp, Zarya is going to be very tricky. It's not saying it's not going to work, but you have to use a lot more brain power playing Zarya into dive than you do playing like any other tank into dive, because Zarya's just going to get no value against a team that doesn't do a lot of damage, right?
Ready for battle.
Left click, holding left clicks and then throwing right clicks in there is definitely going to help with burst and the AoE if they're in big groups. So make sure we're using a lot more right clicks, because right clicks is kind of our
400
quote-unquote
push-ups before
finisher
ammunition. It works.
damage.
I promise.
Left click's gonna be consistent for damage if you're trying to shoot through a defense matrix, obviously, or burn through a shield, or those are like the two main things. Or if you're just trying to do like consistent damage to like I don't know, a tree or Bob or something like that. But yeah, your right click's gonna be what you really need for like bursting someone down real quick. Good, good, good.
Area denial.
Yeah, even right-clicking the ram here would be good. Even left-clicking and right-clicking the ram there probably would do more damage than what you did to him there. Damn. Why left click and right click? Why not just right click if it's better because of AoE and burst? The reason you left click and right click is because right clicking takes like 25 ammo, but if you're left clicking, it's going to one, do a little bit of damage to them first, a couple ticks, and then the right click will like hit them like. Okay, so say this is a beam's just consistent damage, right? And then you throw like a right click in there every once in a while. So you'll do this consistent damage, right click, and then you'll go back to the consistent damage. And at the same time that consistent damage is back, that right click will go in, and it'll hit at the same time that beam's hitting. So both of those damage will basically collide at the same time, which will do a bigger chunk of health. Another reason is if you get your ammo, see how your ammo's at 25 right here? If your ammo's at like 10 or 5 or something on the lower, if it's something on the lower end of like 25, your right click will only cost the like 5 ammo or something, but it will still be full damage. So even if you're getting near the end of your beam or your ammo, you can just throw a right click in, and it's gonna be actually more value than what the time duration would be for like 5 seconds of normal beam ammo is, if that makes sense, right? Because I only do like, you know, a certain amount of damage with 5 ammo, but you do a lot more damage with 25 ammo, and a right click is that 25 ammo. So it's just more value if your clip is low to also just right click, because it's gonna do more damage than whatever the remaining of that clip is. But yeah, so I hope that helps with why you want to be doing left click and right clicks. It's supposed to be like, yeah, this thing that just like chunks them down rather than just right click, right click. Also, the fire rate is so slow on your right click, right? Because there's like a 1.5 second time interval, and you're able to left click during that time interval. This is good. That's good pressure. Okay. There is a pedal here. Lifeweaver decided to put a pedal here. So rather than you kind of like, it was good for you to step out here, but you chunked this Lifeweaver and people low. We should take this pedal up to just get us up to this high ground and start pressuring these people out. Because yeah, shooting this ram isn't gonna do anything. So if the enemy team is going to be a bit of a dummy and leave this for you, we should try to take advantage of this as much as possible. Because if you don't, then you will just be sitting here and watching them do everything that they can. But I guarantee you, if you jumped up here and you like left click, right clicked a couple of these guys, they'd probably be dead in seconds, especially if you're at 90 charge like you are. Another reason why left click, right click is good is you can also like shoot your right click behind the ram. So even though he's blocking, if you shoot it behind him, it's gonna still do full damage rather than the 80% damage reduction he gets from blocking. So that will also just whittle him down a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, this is a little bit more of like something that you probably should have not been doing. Another thing you could do also is, if you know that this ram's going to be a problem and he's going to be sitting here the whole time, you could just tell your whole team that you're going to go right side, and just your whole team place him right side over here until they push off, in which case someone drops to push cart and you're good. Yeah, but yeah, definitely if they have a Lifeweaver and he's putting platforms like this, try to utilize the Lifeweaver, or even if you have your own Lifeweaver, try to ask your Lifeweaver, like, yo, dude, just put a pedal here, and you can, like, catch the pedal up to get to this high ground pretty easy. Your Lifeweaver probably just doesn't know to throw a pedal over there, and that's okay. Sometimes they don't know to just throw it over there because it's an elevator. But yeah, you can easily ask. He has a pedal, so he could easily just throw a pedal over there and you can take it up and pressure the supports out. He just didn't know that that's probably what you wanted to do. So, probably why this is a bigger issue on the defense. Also, another thing Zarya can do is she can right-click melee at the same time, and right-click meleeing at the same time doesn't slow down her fire rate if she's right-clicking only. So if people are like, if you need to do like a super high amount of burst damage to someone, you can just throw right-click melees out, and it will do a good amount of damage too. But yeah, I mean, there's a pedal right there on the front of payload, so you could just take that up and pressure the enemy. That ult, honestly, might have been better if you somehow were able to catch the enemy up here. But yeah, a lot of it is just you don't know how to get up there, and I don't know why, but you're almost like too lazy to just like go take this up here. Like if this isn't working for like 2 or 3 fights, you probably do need to shift it some other way. Yeah, so Lifeweaver is able to cancel the petals, but if you definitely see it, not all Lifeweaver is going to notice it immediately. So it is something that you could outplay if the opportunity comes. Yeah, or even if you wanted to, I know Ram's playing there, but even if you wanted to, you could go left side, and your team could go under here and over here, and pressure the enemy from here. I didn't even know they changed this part a little bit, but yeah. They made this accessing over on this side a lot easier, too. And both of those would have indirectly gained you more space, because there's no way a Ram's just going to let the Zarya walk up and pressure you like that. So... You are definitely right, though. You are just shooting the Ram a lot. And you should not just be brain dead shooting the Ram here. You just, unfortunately, didn't know how to get to the backline. And like I said, I mean, Dorado is more of a dive-heavy map. So playing something like Winston or D.Va would have probably just been easier because you can get to that high ground easier. But if you are playing someone with and there's a lot of high ground, you do need to try to take those stair routes so that you are able to actually contest the high ground, because otherwise, yeah, the enemy team will just sit up there and they'll get a free win because of it. So yeah, left click, right click combos, try to work on that a lot more. If you just play a couple games in quick play, you'll definitely already see the difference. Especially if you start just right clicking. It's mainly right click melees that you do in the grab, but yeah, if you just start right clicking in your grabs, you'll start to see a lot more confirmed kills in there too. You know, try to focus on those bubbles. Bubble people only when they're low. So that you're not wasting bubbles on full health targets that, you know, aren't going to really be taking a lot of damage. And yeah, try to pressure the high ground out a little bit more. Yeah, hope that stuff helps. Hope it helps you get hopefully into Masters. That'd be cool. And yeah, happy to help as always. Happy class.